So Kansas has always been known historically as a basketball school, and the Jayhawks will always be a blue blood in the space of college basketball. However, I feel like you're going to be able to add football to that portfolio of success if you're Kansas here very soon. You see, an institution shows you how committed they are to the growth of one of its athletic programs through how much they're willing to invest in it. Texas invests a shit ton into its football program. Duke invests a shit ton into its basketball program. That's why both respective programs are flourishing right now. Well, I don't know if y'all have noticed, but recently, Kansas has been investing a lot more of its resources into the growth of its football program because they know how much revenue it can generate for its athletic department overall. And quite frankly, Kansas wants to be known as more than just a basketball school. They want to diversify their portfolio, if you will. And Kansas will always be great at basketball. They've invested a lot of their resources, most of their resources, into their basketball program in past years. That's why they've been dominant over these past several decades. But football is going to be a rising force. I think football is about to pop off for Kansas, if you will. And this could be a double-headed monster up in Lawrence if this football program grows the way I think it's going to. In college athletics, your program is only as good as how much you invest in it. And Kansas is starting to take this football program a lot more seriously. And we've started to see results because of that. I mean, look at 2022. Kansas had that undefeated start. 2023, Kansas had that emphatic upset over Oklahoma. And I think that those wins are going to start to become more and more consistent for this Kansas football program down the line. Just recently, famous Kansas alumnus David Booth, the football stadium is named after him. He donated a $300 million gift to Kansas University, and a good chunk of that donation is going to be used to fund Phase 2 of the Gateway District project, and what that is essentially is a series of renovations to the David Booth Kansas Memorial Stadium, which is where the Jayhawks play football. Those renovations show you how seriously that Kansas is taking football. They would not have done this years ago. And this stadium is going to look completely different after the ends of the Gateway District project. Phase 2, which is being partially covered by David Booth's donation, it's going to cost around $360 million. Kansas has already invested $450 million into the Gateway District project. That is a shit ton of money, and it shows you how committed they are to the growth and sustainable success of this football program. We're in the middle of a facilities arms race in college sports right now, and so if you're behind, well, you've got to catch up or get ahead, or else recruits are going to start to look over you. Everybody has beautiful stadiums now. Everybody has beautiful facilities, and so if you're not improving, you're falling behind. Kansas knows that, and that's why they've allocated so much of their financial resources to this Gateway District project. A sizable chunk of that $300 million donation is also being used to finance Kansas's recruiting and NIL efforts when it comes to football. Kansas's vision for its football program is they want to realistically compete for not only Big 12 championships, but college football playoff appearances and national championships in these years to come. And they know they need to assemble a formidable roster to be able to compete with those more reputable teams out there. Well, that's why those financial resources are being invested more and more into recruiting and NIL at Kansas. They're taking this thing more seriously, and they know that if they want to compete, they need to field a team of 4-star, 5-star, blue-chip guys. That's the reality right now. And this donation and the money used from it, it's going to be able to help Kansas land recruits that they would not have been able to land in the past. And that's going to move the needle for this program. Going back to the facilities arms race, recently, this past March 2025, Kansas unveiled renovations to the Anderson Family Football Complex. That facility had been behind others in the Big 12 and over the general landscape of college football for these past several years. But after this facelift it just underwent, it looks gorgeous. And it's going to wow recruits when they come in and visit Kansas and this football program. You see, the facility, oftentimes, it's the first thing that a recruit sees when he arrives on campus. It's the first part of his tour. And so essentially, in a nutshell, that facility is his first impression of not only the football program, but the entire university. You want this thing to be spick and span. You want it to be beautiful. You want it to be groundbreaking, breathtaking. Well, after these renovations that the Anderson Family Football Complex just underwent, it's going to be able to land that first impression that it needs to get blue chippers, 4 stars, 5 stars. And I think this program is going to start to look different, and these recruits are going to walk through the doors of this Kansas football program and say, yeah, these guys take their shit seriously. They're committed to excellence. They're bought into this football program. They're bought into me. And it's going to resonate with them. And it's going to result in buy-in. Lastly, Kansas shows you just how committed it is to the success of its football program by how much it's paying its head coach, Lance Leopold. Over $7 million a year. Kansas would have never fronted a salary like this for football in past years, but it is now because, well, that's what the market dictates, and they know that that's what it takes to compete. If you want to keep a guy like Lance Leopold, who has a vision for success for this program and is committed to developing a strong culture every year, that's the price tag. That's what it takes. Kansas knows what it takes right now, and they're investing the requisite amount of financial resources into this football program for it to be sustainably successful down the stretch. And for that reason, I think that this Kansas football program is about to pop off. The next year, 2, 3 years down the line, I think Kansas could be a household name in the Big 12, in the wild, wild west that is the Big 12. You see, my last analogy here, y'all know I love analogies. Growing any college sports program is like watering a plant. The water is the financial resources, the plant is the program. If you remember to water the plant every day, it'll grow big and strong, and it'll be prosperous. If you forget to water the plant for a couple days in a row, well, that plant may start to wilt. Kansas football program was wilting these past several years. But now, because of the investment that Kansas is dedicating to this program, which is the water, that plant, which is the football program, is starting to grow. And it's going to grow big and strong. It's going to pop off in these years to come. Let me know what y'all think about this take in the comment section below. Thank y'all for watching. Have a great day.